Hi, I'm Ben Mercer. This is Our Race, a book that I co-wrote with Trystan Bevan in collaboration with the GB 4x100 metre relay team that won gold in Athens, and I'm just about to read you chapter 2. Two hours to go. The men's 4x100 metre final was set for late evening. For Great Britain, the day had been broken up by a few naps and some gentle walking around the Olympic Village. After a late lunch, they had a meeting before the final relay practice. There were two warm-up tracks in Athens, one slightly above the other. Britain were there early and went for the higher track. The Americans were surprised to turn up and find the British team occupying the higher ground, and were further surprised that there was no frivolity between them. They were accustomed to Darren Campbell in particular giving them some stick, but even he blanked the Americans completely. Britain were operating on their own, preparing for battle, impervious to any attempted distractions. Feeling relaxed and well drilled, everyone knew their roles. Despite them being ranked only 15th in the world, they felt as if it was going to be their night. It was quiet on the higher track, warm in the setting sun, and Mark Lewis Francis felt a sense of comfort, like something was hugging them. They did their warm-up lap together, completed their drills and skills, and then began to rehearse passing the baton. Britain's theme in their warm-up was about projecting calmness and focusing on clean baton changes. The team's strategy for the Olympic final was no different to the one they would have used at their first ever relay race as juniors. The simple approach was for clean exchanges, to put the Americans under pressure and force them to make a mistake. The Americans would expect Great Britain to wilt, to fall behind, to give up ground, or even to make a catastrophic error. If they could just be a constant presence, if they could refuse to go away, the USA might just make their own mistake. After a minimal amount of rehearsal, coach Steve Perks said, "That's enough." He knew they were ready. Marlon Devonish was quietly confident, having seen countless athletes born on a tide of rising self-confidence have their dreams crushed. He had learned not to pay too much attention to pre-race appearances. Nevertheless, he liked what he saw in his teammates. Jason Gardner, Mark Lewis Francis and Darren Campbell had not achieved their goals in their individual events, and their efforts had been slated by the press. They could have been disheartened, but Marlon saw them smiling but determined, relaxed yet focused. As the British team collected their things to leave the warm-up track, picking up water bottles and tracksuit tops, an uproar came from the track below. It was the Americans. They were heading to the stadium full of exuberance, alerting all and sundry to their presence. The British four slowly, quietly, made their final preparations and were the last team to head to the stadium. It was about a mile's walk away, a long distance for 100-metre sprinters. Mark was getting increasingly nervous as the stadium was approaching. The fizz from the arena was palpable. Energy and electricity from the crowd Mark was getting increasingly nervous as the stadium was approaching. The fizz from the arena was palpable. Energy and electricity from the crowd reverberating out into the Greek night sky. "You all right, kid?" Darren asked him, sensing his nerves. Putting his hand on Mark's shoulder, Darren told him softly, "We're going to win." Mark had a tingle in his stomach. As they got close to the tunnel, he assumed the persona of his role in the team, that of the indomitable last leg hero. He was the boy from Smethwick who would stand alone for minutes on end next to the quickest men on earth and not be intimidated. More than that, he would need to turn the tables on them and become someone to fear in his own right. 8 minutes to go. The final few strides from the tunnel into the arena let them know they were at the finals of the Olympic Games. The Nigerian team became very loud, the Americans increasingly aggressive and intimidating. The Americans shouted at the British team to look at them, but received no response. A thick layer of testosterone, a mess of languages and dialects, thigh-slapping and staring in the tunnel, gave way to a wall of noise and a sticky humidity on the track. The British team, about to separate to their start positions, gave each other a hand slap and a hug, ready to walk to their marks, when that very moment, God Save the Queen reverberated around the stadium. Kelly Holmes had just won gold in the women's 1,500 metres. The resulting national anthem gave the team an extra boost. Finally, with chaos all around them, and with determination in each other's eyes, Darren called them together to pray.